One of the most critical insights that I got when I was scaling a couple fitness coaches of mine over 100K a month, and even myself above 50K a month, is everyone is pushing a level of propaganda. Okay. So if you actually look at what propaganda is, at the end of the day, propaganda is pushing a populace to believe in some sort of biased standpoint. Okay. So when it comes down to it in business, how can this relate to business? When you have John's online personal training and then you have Amy's online personal training, at the end of the day, whoever of those two people can effectively educate and sway the consumers, sway the populace to believe in their biased standpoint regarding their business, their mechanism, to be so bought into that brand that they're going to buy. Whoever can do that most effectively and most importantly, educate people, because a lot of the times we know this, if you look back in history, Edward Bernays talks about this in the book Propaganda, is a lot of the times propaganda is actually disguised as education. Okay, they kind of go hand in hand. What are you educating people on? Okay, so whoever can effectively educate people at a mass scale will be the people who win. Okay, so what I'm going to show you in this video, okay, is I'm going to show you how to effectively pretty much nurture people, educate people effectively to want to work with your personal training, your online business. Okay, because I used to be so big in the direct response space, running ads. Hey, fill out this form and get access, or this thing, giving away free stuff here, doing this. Okay, or even sending cold DMs, pitching people hard, or even just pushing content, thinking that's going to nurture people, but a lot of times it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to jump into it and I'm going to show you how pretty much I've been using actually Skool as my mechanism to do this, and a little bit about kind of what's going on. Okay, so pretty much right now, what most people are doing, what most fitness and health coaches are doing online, is they're running ads, they're sending a bunch of cold DMs, they're posting short form, trying to convert a large quantity of people very quickly. Okay, and pretty much these people are only focused on getting views on platforms like Instagram and YouTube, and then pushing them directly onto a sales call right away. Okay, so they see your Instagram, they see your YouTube, sales call right away. Okay, what these people are pretty much doing is they're optimizing for more quantity, more views, more meetings booked. You see people online, oh, how many meetings do you have booked? And then they use that as kind of a gauge, as a metric to see their level of success. Like even me personally, I was back in September of last year, I was booking like on my peak, I was like 10 to 12 meetings a day, strictly from cold outbound. Okay. You would think on paper that, oh my God, Ashton, you're probably making like 100K a month with 12 meetings booked a day. If you close a quarter of those for a high ticket package, you're going to make X amount of money. Okay. But no one buyed. No one buyed. Like I think out of those 12 meetings a day for like, I was running that for like 2 months. I had 10 people who barely put together like $1,000 for me. And it was an uphill battle, service delivery. Everything else was more difficult. Okay. And the reason is why? Is because most people, and even myself, they're forgetting education. Okay. They're forgetting this massive piece on the chessboard, and they're just blind to education. Okay. So pretty much right now, like everyone's obsessed with views, everyone's obsessed with meetings, everyone's obsessed with, oh, I'm going to push more volume. I'm just going to get more views, and that's going to somehow, or more meetings, and that's going to somehow relate to me making more money. Okay. So what I've found is like simply getting a large number of views, getting famous is actually a net negative. Okay. Like if you're optimizing for like a brand deal on like, for example, a streaming platform, okay, or you want to do something like that, okay, then sure, go ahead and be an internet celebrity. But if you're trying to push a mechanism and get people educated about that, views should not be your metric, okay? So even look at my YouTube. If you're watching this on my YouTube, go look at how many subscribers I have. Don't have that many subscribers, okay? Do I use that as a metric of my success? No. Do I use views as a metric of success? Not at all, okay? Because I don't want to educate everyone. I want to educate exactly who I'm looking for, okay? So views, meetings, all this stuff can actually be a net negative, okay? So instead, pretty much what we're optimizing for is quality reach, not quantity reach, okay? So rather than trying to convert a large quantity of audience very quickly, we're looking to pretty much educate a large audience over a longer period of time, and will actually yield better results, okay? So what we're doing is pretty much we're expanding the time horizon of when we start education to when we finish education, which is when they convert. Okay. So instead of just going out and posting or sending up or cold DMs or simply just posting online and then convert, okay, we're thinking, okay, how long can we have someone in a database which is constantly feeding them propaganda, education for a long enough time horizon, and then maybe 3, 4, 5 months later, they buy. Okay. I've had people personally who've been in my database for several months, like 5, 6, 7 months. And then like on the 6th month, or I've had people who've even been like in my database for a year. And then on the year, they come to me and then they'll convert. Okay. A year of me feeding them education, they'll convert. Okay. So on average, someone will be in my pipeline for 1 month before converting. This is on average. Okay. This is exactly why so many people don't see any success actually with ads either. Okay. Because they're thinking too short of a time horizon. Okay. Or even cold outreach. They're like sending the cold DM, trying to get them in the Calendly, trying to hard close them. What's the point of that? Why do you want someone on a Calendly call if on that call, for example, they don't know anything about what you do? Maybe they have a base idea. Okay. They're going to be hard to work with once you sign them. Okay. They don't know anything about your business as a whole. They don't know probably anything about you either, your story, etc. So why would you want to talk to that person? Why would you want to waste 60 minutes on a call with that person? Okay. I wish I knew this insight a year and a half ago. Okay. When I was doing 12 meetings a day. Okay. And this can also be related to content. Right? Everyone's pushing content and then trying to make everything kind of a direct response style. Okay. So I want you to think of this just to illustrate this point. So think about your car, your pretty much your dream car, for example. Okay. So for example, my next purchase is going to be an M4 or an MA competition, just to give you an example. Okay. I've wanted this car for about a year and a half at this point. Personally, I've probably spec'd this car out over 3 times. I've watched several hours of videos online about how it drives, this, that. I've even been to the dealership. I've even looked at it, exactly what exhaust I'm going to buy, what color I'm going to put it in. This is exactly a photo of something that I exactly kind of what I'm looking for. Okay. And imagine this. Imagine if BMW went out, put an ad out and said, buy my car now. Okay. Think about how ineffective that would be. Okay. I've been in this pipeline, hypothetically, of buying this car for a year and a half now. And then like, okay. And then potentially 6 months, a year from now, I will buy, or a month from now, I will buy. Okay. But imagine if they're going out and just buy my car now. Okay. The reason why this is ineffective is about 3% of the market is always in a buying now zone. Okay. The other 97% is either in an information gathering mode where they're looking at other options. So like they're looking at the Honda Civic, they're looking at the Audis, they're looking at this. Okay. The 20% are problem aware. Okay. So let's say they know they have a problem. They know they need a car. Okay. Then the other 60% are not problem aware. So they don't know they need a car. Okay. Relating to fitness. Okay. 3% of the market is buying now. Okay. So when you run a direct response style ad, you are pretty much targeting 3% of the market. Okay. Hey, do you want X thing in X time? Buy my course, buy my product, buy this fitness program right now. 3% of the market. But then when you tone it back and actually educate, that's when you can tap into the other 97%. Okay. Let's say someone watches your video or your nurturing asset, or is nurtured by you or educated by you, and they're not problem aware. And then you take them from not problem aware. Okay, now they're problem aware. They know they have a problem. That creates urgency within them. Holy shit. And and then the next step for them is to potentially convert with you. So these levels change based on how educated someone can be, because problem aware is not a black and white thing. Problem aware is how it's unique to the perspective of the person. Okay? So all in all, pushing people straight into a sales call right away before you've educated them is a waste of time. Potential is them further is a waste of potential lead value compared to if they were further educated. Okay, so you got to pretty much stretch the time horizon. Okay, the further people are educated, the more they understand and agree with the solution, the more they're problem aware. Okay, the more urgency they'll have to take action, the more they'll want to implement the solution. Okay, so why would you catch them early on when they are minimally educated, when you can further educate them and close them for higher cash collected? Even think about this from like a cash collecting point of view. Okay, imagine if I knew nothing about cars. Okay, nothing about if I wanted a BMW or if I wanted this thing or whatever, and someone came up to me, hey, do you want to buy this car? This random car brand. Hey, you want to buy this car? Okay, I knew nothing about it, and he just tries to hard close me there. I'm probably not going to have or associate the same level of value with this random guy that comes up to me compared to BMW when I have been educated and nurtured and I've been seeing the car for my entire life and blah, 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 blah. And I already own one as well. Okay? So you'll be able, relating to fitness, you'll be able to charge a lot more and sales kind of goes out the window. You're going to have to pretty much not really care about objections. I don't think I've gotten an objection personally in like a couple months from my sales calls. Hey, I like your process. How much is it? Oh, it's this much? Cool. Boom. Okay? Because I value this so much. Okay? So all in all, the level of education, you can even probably map this as being exponential, but the more educated someone is, the higher their value is as a prospect. So people say, oh, what's your cost per lead? What's your cost per pretty much acquiring a client? That stuff doesn't really matter because if you base every lead, for example, on $10 you spend on your marketing budget to get one lead from Facebook, okay? And that's one guy from Facebook, but you have another lead from someone who's been educated for 6 months. That guy is not worth $10 and this guy is worth $10. Okay, based on cost per lead metrics. Okay? So it changes drastically everything. Okay? So let's look at pretty much my strategy that I've been implementing for the last little bit. How to pretty much turn first-time viewers into regular viewers, and then pretty much high value and quality clients by actually educating them. Okay? So all in all, what we're trying to do is we're trying to predictably educate these people. Okay? So predictably educating is the combination of owning an audience and having a clear education process for people to go through. Okay? Because when we're taking someone from a problem awareness state or even a non-problem awareness state, okay? Because, or like, let's say someone doesn't have a problem, but then they go to that problem state, it has to be clear. It has to be concise. It has to show them the steps, okay? And most importantly, you have to own the audience, which I'm going to explain a little bit later, okay? So this process in Skool would pretty much consist of the following, okay? So number one is an outlined learning path, okay? What I actually saw is if you go to acquisition.com, which Alex Hormozi owns, I saw this. I took this course 2 years ago. This $100 million offer. It's his offer book. He made a course from it, okay? And when he made this course 2 years ago, I used it, and I've been in Alex Hormozi's pipeline for 2 years at this point since I started with him, okay? 2 years. He's been educating me for 2 years. And I bought several of his things before. I bought all of his books, okay? School games. I idolize this guy, right? Right? I've opted into his pipeline several times, okay? So when I saw Alex Hormozi do something like this, and I'm like, holy shit, I went through this. It's clear, it's concise, it's outlined, okay? It's the same thing that we are going to have to do when it comes to actually educating and nurturing, okay? So a big problem pretty much with trying to educate people using social media platforms, especially short form, okay, is that there's no outlined path the audience must go through to become fully solution aware or even problem aware, okay? This is exactly why Alex Hormozi pushes people directly to his books and his school games, okay? When I understood why Hormozi was doing this, it told me that what I was doing myself and with my clients was totally wrong, okay? So the first step is you need an outlined learning path. It has to be something clear. Hormozi totally is doing an amazing job with this because his business model is to partner with companies that are already doing, I think, over 7 figures, okay? And the way he's doing that is by educating people first, getting them there, and then once they get there, then he's getting them into their business or getting them to apply to work with him, okay? So he's 10 steps ahead, okay? So that's the first thing. Pretty much an outline learning path, kind of like Hormozi, you could say, okay? Number 2 is actually owning the data of the people who are viewing what you're going through, okay? So on every platform, which is for example, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, every social media platform, They're all great ways to generate top of funnel attention. Okay, get people into what you're doing, get people into your education plan or your education, however you're nurturing people. Okay, but you need to funnel this education to a direct audience that you can personally own. Okay, what I mean by this is, let's say you post every day on Instagram and you scale your Instagram to 100,000 followers. Okay, you spend multiple years doing this. Okay, what Instagram can do is they own that account. What they can do is just shut it down. Bye-bye. What are you going to do? You say something wrong, you don't comply with them, they take down your account. You say something bad, I don't know. You say something bad, they'll just bye-bye. Gone. Okay? So you need to own the attention, because then you can pretty much, there's other benefits as well, such as reaching out to people and converting people when you have their name, phone number, and email. Okay? And then you're going to be able to actually control the volume of which the speed of the propaganda, the speed of the education is given to them. Okay? So there's also a lot of other tertiary benefits, but you need to own this attention. Okay? So when you own your attention, this means you have direct access to your audience whenever you want, rather than relying on algorithmic patterns. Okay? So this is like pretty much all in all, owning your audience is owning access to contact them through their name, their phone number, and their email. Okay? Cool. All in all, these platforms, massive platforms. Look at Meta, 1.49 trillion. Google, which is YouTube, for example, 2 trillion. Okay? These companies are massive and they have a ton of data, and we can use this data to get people into our nurturing plans, get people in to be nurtured by us. Okay? But if we just keep people there, then we're going to be forever competing with these massive platforms. Okay? They have trillions of dollars worth of attention. They have trillions of dollars worth of data. Like, all of this money, just to give you a quick overview. When you think, like, when you look at for example, a roofing company, okay? A roofing company owns trucks, okay? They have employees. Maybe they have a couple buildings, like shops, where they store everything. They're based off of the assets that they have, which are mostly tangible assets, okay? Meta, 1.49 trillion, all of that is data. That is all user information that makes the platform more engaging, that makes the platform more addicting. Okay, that $1.49 trillion, that's all data value. Okay, so you can tap into that. Okay, but you cannot keep it there. Okay, cool. And then number 3 is pretty much reachability and accountability. Okay, so the ability to keep people accountable and reach out to them for goal setting, keeping them on track, is just another element of creating a functioning system where people can get educated in the most predictable way possible. Okay, so like, for example, with fitness, okay, when you have a client, okay, you're going to want to keep them accountable. You're going to want to hold their hand. You're going to want to be consistent with your message. Okay, because even Robert Cialdini talks about this in his book Influence. The more you are consistent and the more you are around someone, psychologically, they're going to be more comfortable with you and they're going to trust you more. Okay, even if, let's say, you're in a room with someone and you go in that room and you don't talk with that person at all, but you're just around that person every day for a month, they're going to start to get comfortable with you. Okay, even if you don't talk with this person. Okay, it's like, I think it's just called overall likeness factor of just consistently being around that person. Okay, so the same thing happens here when your message is consistent and it's almost viewed as accountability. Okay, and then people start to have reciprocity with you and they start to like you more. Okay, so pretty much taking someone from this problem awareness state to this solution enlightenment state and seeing you as the most viable person for that next step. Okay, so all in all, clear learning path, a digestible format, accountability, and also an ability to reach, which is pretty much all in all a conversion event where you can pretty much take someone and actually book them on a sales call once they're educated. Okay, so it's much easier for people to become regular viewers when you have the right systems in place. And the best way to achieve this is by creating a lot of sales assets, okay, and using Skool as a platform to deliver these sales assets in an understandable manner. Okay, so all in all, sales assets, it's not a VSL, okay, it's not a video sales letter, it's not some marketing asset. They're education assets where you're pretty much giving every single information that you own to these people for free. okay? And they're all sales assets, okay? About every single step they're going to have to take to get from X to Y, okay? So when people go through the school learning process, it'll naturally filter out those who aren't serious about finding a solution and push the right quality audience through the states of action below, okay? So all in all, okay, people unclear about the path of what to learn and where to start, you pretty much have this paved step process, kind of like Alex Ramosi with acquisition.com, okay, to bring someone from, okay, I'm problem aware to now solution aware, okay, relying on the algorithm to push content back to viewers, okay, yes, you can use that top of funnel, but you have to own your audience, okay. People own audiences through other various methods, like email lists, for example. Email lists are really good, but with Skool, there's so much other value that you can provide in Skool as well, which are also marketing assets as well, which are also DMs, which is also, and then you also have that classroom where people can engage amongst other people. There's also the DMs in there as well, where you can message people, okay? And then last problem is difficulty closing leads, smokescreen. So like people give you objections, like just think for a second. If you're watching this video here, I want you to think how many objections you've personally gotten in the past 10 sales calls you've had, okay? Think about this. Maybe 5, maybe 10, probably quite a bit, okay? And I want you to ask yourself, once you got those objections, you probably got off the call and you're like, okay, I'm going to figure out how to deal with it. And I want to think about an objection. I want to learn how to deal with I want to talk to my wife objection, okay? Those are surface level solutions to a deeper underlying problem. Okay? I used to be an objection master. Okay? But people will not buy if they are not educated. Okay? Cool. Awesome. So once your audience has been through this education process, it will have a massive impact on the entire sales process. So it's pretty much one of the biggest levers you can pull to gain the most amount of leverage with your sales process. Okay? People will be pre-educated by you. They'll already be sold on the solution. They're simply looking for the implementation, okay? Which means no smokescreen objections, higher cash collected, okay? You'll still have you'll still have long sales cycles because it takes time. The only factor with this is with sales cycles with education is that the only thing is you have to give time for people to get educated. Okay, no one's just going to change their beliefs just like overnight that are core beliefs to them. Okay, so this is going to take some time. Okay, for me on average, with people in my database, maybe it takes about a month. Okay, with a lot of my clients who are fitness creators, maybe it takes around 2 weeks, maybe it takes around 3 weeks. Okay, it's different based on the niche you're in. Okay, so you'll also have to make more people who are not problem aware, more aware of the potential gaps rather than just targeting the 3% of the market that is ready now, like I said before with the BMW example. Okay, so overall, so for the exact reasons why a lot of big names in the market don't even try to sell to people who haven't been educated by them or haven't gone through enough of their content, okay? Like so many people, this is probably one of the biggest things that people don't talk about enough because it's not flashy. It's not like, oh, put up an ad and get people. Like, think about how many people are running ads and sending cold DMs. Probably about 80% of people who are in the fitness niche, okay? But if you can properly educate people, you take yourself proverbially out of a red ocean market, a very competitive market, and you put yourself in the market of the other 97%. Because everyone's competing for the 3%. No one's competing for the 97%. Okay? So why would you spend more time trying to sell someone for less cash collected when you can run them through an already built out education funnel, which gets rid of people who aren't seriously looking for a solution, and that builds trust towards you and the solution, okay? You've given them the education to be solution aware. Now then, they just want the implementation. Give the information for free, and then you just pretty much sell the implementation, okay? So all in all, I started here at problem aware, okay? But this can even be extended to people who aren't problem aware, okay? Because when someone watches your content or your sales asset, and you pretty much run them through, hey, you're in a problem because of X, Y, and Z. For example, let's say you're doing a sales asset for someone for an overweight niche who wants to lose weight, okay? And someone's watching your sales asset and they're 50 pounds overweight, okay? They don't know that they have to lose weight. They're not problem aware, okay? You can easily paint a picture. Hey, blood pressure. Hey, you're not going to be there for your kids. Hey, XYZ health metric to as of why there is a problem. Hey, if you're watching this and you're 50 pounds overweight, you have a shorter lifespan. Now they're problem aware, okay? And then now you can implement a clear learning path with a digestible format, with consistency with your message, and then pretty much have a conversion event to then pretty much allow people to implement this, okay? So the main takeaway from this is if you have to stop thinking small, thinking short term. You have to understand that if you want a successful business, you need leverage, okay? Leverage, a lot of leverage comes in when you learn how to properly educate people. And you need assets that will get you consistent results months or even years after launching it. The thing is with this, like I said before, this is not an overnight process. You're not just going to put up sales assets and people are just going to like go view it and bingo bango. It takes time. It took me a long time to get my first clients from my educating database. Like it took me my first from launching to getting my first client from my educating database. It took me 6 months. 6 months, a long time, okay? So the sooner you can start, the earlier you can plant the seed, the bigger the tree will be in 10 years, okay? So we've had people come into the pipeline, like I said, even after 6 to 7 months of launching a sales asset, and there really is no limit because content and media is something that can be up for forever and be viewed billions of times, trillions of times, okay? Think about something you've desired for a long time. Just because you've wanted it for a while doesn't mean you want it any less. Same thing with the BMW example, okay? You can continue signing clients from a specific sales asset long after launching it, as long as you focus on quality and make sure that they are good educating assets, okay? Stop optimizing for quantity. Stop chasing vanity metrics like views. Get your audience onto a platform you control where you can own your attention and where they can become solution aware easily by going through an outline process, okay? If you got value from this, leave a thumbs up. If you're a fitness coach, you guys are my guys. I love you guys. Enjoy.